Hello, friends, and happy day. Welcome to NFL Draft Day 2025. And shout out to KG's throwing out super chats before the show even gets started with a let's go. People are asking, Brian, your draft coverage going to be on YouTube Live? I'd imagine you'll be on 1053 and on Cowboys.com.
Yeah, I'm on DallasCowboys.com, 1053 The Fan.
The
NFL is not going to let us YouTube. It's a rule.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So no
But
YouTube.
you'll be on the radio and the .com.
Be on the radio. Yeah, be on radio.com. So yeah, 1053 The Fan. I think there's some kind of streaming thing, but yeah, the NFL is not going to let us YouTube.
Yep.
We learned that here recently.
You see what friends do? They promote each other's things. I'll be on at the exact same time on my YouTube channel and the DLS Sports YouTube channel. Watch what you love. Watch it all. Have two streams up. Support your favorite people. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it. I love that right before we went live, you said it's going to be a confusing one. And it's felt that way all the way through, honestly, to me. When you get to an NFL draft, you watch the very top guys, and I'm like, man, I got like 4 guys that I feel great about putting a first round grade on. That just feels like a draft where who the hell knows? And honestly, I like it. I don't want to count down the 19 picks to Leighton Vander Esch, and we already know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what the Cowboys are going to do. My guess is that trying to find wide receiver 2 in the first round makes sense. That's my guess. I'm not writing out off offensive line. I'm not writing off corner. I would love a Peter Schrager mock draft to come true where somehow Mason Graham makes it to 12. Like, I don't know.
I don't know if they like Mason Graham as much as we do, Jeff.
Who, them? Oh, them or the league?
Them. No, them. Okay. The Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
I think we really like Mason Graham a lot and see a lot of value in him.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure they're as high on him as we are.
Okay.
So we'll see. We'll see how that plays. I do like the Peter Schrager mock draft though, as far as I think, and I talked to several around the league about him or his mock draft, which he usually does just one. Peter's really well connected. I think it's fascinating the work that he does. He always got the Arizona Cardinal one right because him and Cliff Kingsbury were best friends. So for like 5 years in a row, he had Arizona's pick nailed.
So what you're telling me, Brian, is that the Cowboys are taking Tyler Booker at 12?
I think there's a real possibility of that. If, in fact, that Tet McMillan's not on that board. And there's people that believe that Tet McMillan will not be on that board. You're going to have to walk the minefield of some teams ahead of you potentially. Kellen Moore's making a push at New Orleans at 9 to get offensive skill players, and they're kind of thinking about, could Walker from the edge, off-ball linebacker from Georgia, he's also in play there. Carolina's looking to move at 8. Somebody might have to jump up ahead of New Orleans. There's could be some teams that could bail out of here. I mean, Jacksonville, I've talked about Jacksonville now, a landing spot for Ashton Genty. There's teams talking, I know up in New England, they're interested in bailing out of there. We could see some teams come dancing up there, not for a quarterback, but for a running back. And so, there's a couple of teams that are looking that way. If you're looking for a trade back scenario, I think Dallas would like to trade back. And who's your trading partner? It could be Denver. Could be Denver coming from the back.
Houston?
Houston is interested in moving. They're absolutely interested in moving, and they've got extra picks. So that's something that they're willing to dangle to see. They're looking at a couple of different positions there. I think people are talking about some offensive line and stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah, this should be a fun one. And hopefully if you're trading back, you get the value for your picks. Hopefully if you're one of those teams that's interested in coming up, you call the Dallas Cowboys because you know damn good and well they're not going to call you, which is an odd draft strategy, but here we are in this day and age.
It's a terrible strategy. Like, it doesn't mean that you're weak. It means you're interested in making a trade, Jerry. I wanted to highlight this
can I say real quick about, I know people are talking about Tyler Booker already in the chat. I could see it off my peripheral vision here.
Yeah.
But the one thing I'm hearing though, is that Jerry Jones is interested in maybe not getting an offensive lineman. maybe he's the one that's more interested in getting a little bit more firepower for his team.
Oh,
That's
wow.
what I heard. So you have Jerry in that room uh, talking about, hey, well, and he'll influence the stack. He's talked about he's going to let his people have the discussion. They're going to put the board together, and he's going to be a tiebreaker. So if they do have some discussion about where they would put Booker or where they would take Booker, Jerry Jones might be in there and saying, no, we need to think about taking Ibuka here. We need to think about taking Golden here. We need to think about taking somebody other than Tyler Booker, who is a really, really good player who would absolutely help them. But it just seems that Jerry is leaning towards going for more firepower where others might be talking about offensive line.
That is interesting to me because I'll tell you in a second. Muncher's in the super chat. Thumbs up for the trade back. This guy gets highlighted not because of it's a super chat, but because he likes us and because his name is it the hot dog or is it the bun?
Now this is a hot dog bun.
I think it's a hot dog too.
Max in the super chat. Can't wait to hear with the 12th pick of the NFL. The Cowboys select Ridge Tejada from the University of North Texas. Go Mean Green. I could see that happening for sure. Brian, how far of a drop from number 12 to pick up another third-round pick in this year's draft?
Oh, you could, it's like I said, you're gonna.
It might be the cost at 20, right? Or could you do better than a third?
Well, yeah, you could do better. You could try and hold Denver up for 51 if you wanted to. And some of these teams might, some of the teams that are coming up the board might be a little bit more aggressive when it comes to, okay, we want to get to the spot and so with your relationship with Sean Payton, that would be a good spot. But if you're talking about falling back, in that 16, 17 range, that's what you're probably looking at right there. So we'll see what the value is for some of these picks. These teams are kind of, I think, some of the teams that are wanting to go up are thinking that the value of the picks, they're not going to have to pay the old King's ransom to go that far or that much. So that because so many teams are interested in coming out of their spot. So we'll see once this starts. I'd keep an eye on New England, though. I'd keep an eye on New England at 4. If they don't stand in there and take a pick, they could surely drop back. They could be if somebody, like I said, if somebody like the Bears is interested in Ashton Genty, we could see them go from 10 up into 4 and make that pick to get ahead of Jacksonville. The Bears coach, Johnson has been, he was part of that Detroit regime that drafted running backs and stuff like that. There's a real need that he feels, for his football team. And if they feel like they can grab potentially one of the top 3 players in the draft going up there to get him, it doesn't seem something far-fetched to them.
Michael's in the super chat. 9-year-old has a baseball game tonight. He's making me turn off my phone until we can watch it together after. We watched Golden highlights last night. That's a wonderful thing to read. Dad and son NFL drafting together. That is glorious. That's good parenting. Don't cheat.
It's funny. I talked to Matt Pittman from Meat Church this morning.
I talked to him yesterday.
Yeah, he's up in Green Bay with his kid. He's got a 13-year-old kid up there with him in Green Bay. I said, man, have fun. Enjoy all that. I lived in Green Bay for 5 years, and there's a lot to see, a lot to do, and kind of a fun. Well, yeah, there is in a fun way. In a fun way, there's some things to do. There's some good, fun places to go eat, and kind of try something different. Like not everybody puts butter on their hamburgers like they do, but here we are.
Some Gray Zabel rumors to Dallas this morning. Where is he on your boards? North Dakota State offensive lineman, man.
I think he's like in that second round type of guy. When you talk about, I think the Gray Zabel stuff is actually coming from Albert Breer, and because Albert Breer kind of has set the he's kind of given people the idea that I have Gray Zabel at 43 on my stack. He's the guy that everybody's kind of talking about. Where do you play him? You play him at guard, you play him at center, he can play tackle. He's a good player, but I think Albert Breer has just kind of put a spot he could go at 12, and it's funny. I was talking with somebody this morning about it, and I said, this draft for the Cowboys, they're probably going to draft somebody we're not talking about. Gray Zabel would be that type of guy. We haven't talked a lot about Gray Zabel, but if they're talking about offensive linemen, Booker, guys like that, Gray Zabel could probably play center if you wanted to kick If you want to kick your center out, BB out to guard,
Yeah.
might be a possibility there.
Can I tell you a behind the scenes secret, just because you said it could be somebody that we're not thinking about?
Yeah.
The company asked if we could have like something produced and ready to fire off on socials. That's like a short video about the player that the Cowboys pick. And I was like, I'll have to record 20 of them to think that I got it right.
Yeah.
And it was like, what do you mean? And I'm like, how many names do you need to be confident that whoever they pick at 12, you got it right?
You might need more than 20.
I would need to have in my mind things ready for Matthew Golden, Tedero McMillan, and I mean, if they trade back, it goes to 50. But I need both of them. Maybe Omarion Hampton, maybe Tyler Booker, Kelvin Banks. Maybe I need to make a Gray Zabel one. Michael Williams, Shamar Stewart, Will Johnson, Jade Barron, Walter Nolan. Did I say Kelvin Banks? Like it's like, holy cow! I don't know.
Yeah.
Do I need to be prepared? What about Tyler Warren? If he makes it to 12, could they go tight end because they think he's the best player available? Maybe. I don't know. It's going to be wild, and I love it.
Yeah.
Let me see. Knock out these supers. This gentleman wants to know, is it the hot dog or the bun, Brian? And they want to make Ibuka at 12.
Yeah, I think that, there's, depending on what happens with McMillan, just kind of hearing whispers that they've got Ibuka above Golden. If that's the case on their stack and it gets down to that and they're talking wide receivers, I would love to know. This would be the one year. I always love to know how teams stack their board, but I would love to know this one because I would love to think. I'd like to know how many.
I want to see the wide receiver order for every team.
Yeah, if you had Tet McMillan that high, who is in between, and then where's the next receiver? Because the whole time we've been talking about.
I think I put all mine together. I think I put all.
That's what I'm saying. My running back group feels like it's all together, and maybe some of my defensive tackle guys kind of feel like they're all together there. Yeah.
Marcus is in the super chat. It's been a joy listening to you guys talk players for another year. Thanks for all that you do. You're welcome.
Thank you.
It's fun, man. It's fun. Jotman is quoting the movie Draft Day, which I haven't seen, but Joe Hoyt watches it every night. Every night before
great.
He watched it last night.
Yeah, it's great.
Is it a pretty realistic movie?
Not at all.
Okay.
It's fun
Brian,
though. It's a fun idea of like discussion and kind of what happens, and let's put the film up, and there's challenging and all that. That part of it's real, but man, there's like he goes after. I think Jacksonville has a weak general manager, and he kind of goes after Jacksonville's guys.
That's why you don't call people. You don't want to be the weak one.
You don't want to be the weak one. Yeah.
All right, Brian. I put it in the title. Are you ready to mock draft?
Oh, sure, Jeff. You didn't even, you knew better. You just didn't. Usually, let's pull the curtain back bit. Usually Jeff asks me, hey, what would you like to talk about? And I kind of throw some ideas. This morning, I got absolutely no text from Jeff.
Because you said on Tuesday, or on Monday, give me till Thursday.
I'm doing my best to talk about everything that I know right now. Everything that I know right now, I'm talking about.
Brian, who's going number one?
Who's going number? Oh, it's our quarterback.
Cam Ward's going to go number one.
There you go.
Don't worry, I'll cut you easy. I'll only take you to 12.
No, I'm just having fun. Go ahead.
I'll only take you to 12.
Yeah, but are you using the machine? Are you doing the machine, or are you just going off a?
No, I just have the list pulled up, and I'll just take us down to 12.
Okay, go ahead. You like that, Ward?
Yeah, Ward's going to be number one. Cleveland, in my mind, it is Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter, unless somebody is like coming up for something, which I couldn't imagine because I don't think there's a quarterback anybody's coming up for. So are you good with Travis Hunter?
Hunter's good.
At number 3, are you good with the New York Giants taking Abdul Carter?
Yeah, I kind of felt like then talking to their guys, it was either going to be Carter or Hunter, so I'll take Carter.
Now we get to our first crossroads. New England Patriots at 4. If it's a mock draft, you'll see a lot of Will Campbell. You'll see a lot of offensive linemen. By the way, KG's in the super chat saying this is true. I was there. Brian, you did say on Monday. Give me to Thursday. So number 4 is our first wild card.
Great. We're having fun. We're mock drafting right now. Let's go.
He hates it.
I tell you what, I don't know. Let me be honest here. I don't know if I hate the mock draft or the post draft grades more. Scott Van Pelt went off on it, and I thought it was hilarious because he's absolutely right.
See, I think post-draft grades are great. You just have to
No, they're
put in
not.
your
They're
caveat.
not. You don't know F.
You or I
You
can-
don't know F, and the teams. Van Pelt said it perfectly. You don't know F, and the teams don't know F. They pick these players. They don't know F.
Our grades could be dead balls wrong, but I learned from a guy.
No,
I
you're all
learned from
about
a guy.
content. You're all about content. Just go ahead and admit it. You're all about content.
I learned from a guy.
Yeah.
If you put in the work, you're allowed to have an opinion on these players. And so if
Sure.
after the draft, I find the team that picked my highest
Oh no,
players,
I could tell you. I could tell you who had I could tell you by my grades who had a good draft.
Yeah.
But I could be, as you would say, dead balls wrong about
our grade could turn out that our grade on our grade would be an F a year or two later. We don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Like that guy that guy from Indianapolis told me in 1998. He said, I had the worst draft in the history of the NFL, and 4 of the 8 players ended up in the Pro Bowl. I go, don't you want to wait and see how this thing kind of turns out?
Yeah.
He says, no, I know. I know. Yeah.
We don't got to wait. I'll tell you who got an F. Yeah. New England got an F already, and so did the Giants. And the reason is
they're passing.
Because the Giants in week 17 beat the Colts for no reason.
For no reason at all.
They would be picking their quarterback right now.
Yeah.
But instead, they can't get up to number 1 because they won a stupid game in week 17. And New England should be getting Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter, except in week 18, they won a game.
Joe Milton with a great effort to get a game, to win a game. Joe Milton against Buffalo. What a great game by Joe Milton.
Number 4, New England Patriots. I have no idea. Like I would just throw, I guess if I'm picking it, I would just throw Will Campbell because it's the name I've seen the most. Can they get out of there? Don't know.
I wonder if they're a team that would take Ashton Genty.
At 4?
Yeah.
Who are the Patriots running backs? They don't have any good players, so I don't know who any of their players are.
They probably need to trade back. I think this, like I said earlier, this is the time where I think you need to really pay attention to what's happening at the draft. I mean, I think it's going to go the first 3 we talked about, and now they could take Ashton Genty. They could take the offensive lineman there, take Campbell.
Ramondre Stevenson and Antonio Gibson. They could take Genty. They could take Genty.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go Campbell there. And at number 5, you were the first guy to kind of open my eyes to this.
Jacksonville.
I'm hearing it all over the place. Ashton Genty.
Put Genty there.
Which screws the Raiders because they were supposed to get Genty all along. And now the Raiders are sitting there going, what the hell do we do? And if they don't like a quarterback.
I'm debating now if they would take Graham in this situation, or maybe they would take McMillan.
Okay. Which one you want?
Give him McMillan.
Oh, you son of a biscuit.
Mm-hmm. You want to play mock draft boy? Let's go.
No.
Let's play mock draft boy. You want content? Let's go.
Mock draft boy.
You trade down boy, captain trade down, mock draft boy. Let's all do it. Let's go.
Campbell, Genty, McMillan.
Put McMillan there.
That's okay. Here's the good news, Brian. There is no worst case scenario for the Cowboys.
Let's keep going. We're gonna make this really, really hard on us, is what we're gonna do.
Okay. The New York Jets, and thank you, Jay Litt, in the super chat.
I would take put the Missouri tackle there.
Okay, all right. That's going to be Membo. Get a little Membo in there. Watching in the middle of an oil field in Wyoming, hoping for team.
Wow!
Thank you, Austin.
Wow, that's cool.
Heard much about Trey Harris with 44. Love that kid. Am I wrong? Your thoughts?
No. Yeah.
That's about right. That's about right.
I'm not a golden guy there, Jess. I'm just trying to play the game here.
Brian is a golden guy. Oh, hold on, Brian. Are you rigging the mock draft?
Not at all. Not at all. This is where, a matter of fact, if you look at my stack, it will tell you that I have Golden as my 5th best receiver on the board.
5th best? Who's 4?
Hunter McMillan.
I always forget he exists. You're right. Yep.
I do. I'm the Hunter receiver guy.
Me too. I think he's that's Odell Beckham. So
yeah.
Carolina at number 8.
Give him Walker.
Jalen Walker. Jalen Walker is the one that interests me because I'm glad that the league agrees with me. My notes on him are I love him, I love him, I love him, I love him, I love him. But I could see a scenario where the league is like, yeah, but which one does he play and what are we going to do? And he falls and I could see it. I could see it. But I would also like to have him on my football team. At number 9 overall, the New Orleans Saints. They were going to take McMillan from us anyway, weren't they, Brian?
Probably so.
If we got there.
Probably so.
Now what's Kellen Moore going to do?
Would he consider Warren here?
Yeah, he could consider Warren here. Okay.
I think he's looking for weapons. I really, really do. I think he's looking for that type of either McMillan, Warren. He's looking to somebody that can maybe help his quarterback that way.
Okay. The Chicago Bears are at number 10 overall. Let's see, Chicago got every pick in there. Bang, bang, bang. NFL draft. There. Is there a name that jumps out that's still available?
You're thinking 10. About, yeah, this is where kind of they were kind of holding on the tight end. I'm making it difficult on them. They might be holding on the tight end and the wide receiver there.
Does Mason Graham start jumping out when you get down to 10 and he hadn't been gone yet?
I think, like I said, who does Schrager have at the Bears at 10, by the way? Did he have his? Is
it an offensive lineman maybe? Peter Schrager.
They spent money on offensive line. I think they would try and get skill.
He gave him Colston Loveland, the Michigan tight end.
Put Colston Loveland there.
Oh, look at you. I like that you like Peter. That's nice of you.
Yeah.
Colston Loveland. I do too, because he's so unassuming. You know, people are talking to him all the time.
Oh, he is. He gets more people to talk to him than anybody.
He's like the male Kay Adams.
Kay Adams is the friendliest person on earth. Kay Adams you can admit that to Kay Adams you're having an affair. Kay, I'm a terrible human being, Kay. I've had an affair. I'm an alcoholic. I do drugs every day. I'm cruel to animals.
But you're so lovely.
Yeah, exactly.
You're so lovely.
Kay will tilt her head like, oh, you're such a nice guy.
She's got cute mom energy where you're just going to admit everything.
I love Kay. I do. I really do. She's a wonderful person.
Let's see. Hold on. You did the Trey Harris one. Tet and Ibuka both have similar pro day 40 times. Do they both play the same speed on tape? I would say Ibuka probably plays faster, but not by a huge margin. Yeah. He's definitely quicker.
Yeah.
Matthew Golden comp. I see a smaller Amari. I don't have a great comp for Matthew Golden. Stephon Diggs light. I don't have a great
maybe comp. A little better in the air.
Yeah, but not quite as good on the ground.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's fair.
I'm just thinking a small-ish.
Mike doesn't know who Kay Adams is. This is so sad.
Kay Adams is she's a nice, pretty lady that is a broadcaster about NFL games that used to work for somebody else, and now she does.
She was on Good Morning Football.
She interviews players every week, and she gets them to say things that other people are not going to. We
were at the Super Bowl, Jeff. We're at the Super Bowl, and she's got this Kay Adams has this whole massive studio, and she's got like every big name guest coming to talk to her. They're lined up. They're waiting to come talk to Kay Adams.
Yeah,
she is. She's fun.
Golden John Ross. You're not going to get me to say that one because I'm ignoring his 4.29 completely. Matthew Golden runs well. You're not. My scouting report does not say this is going to be one of the fastest receivers in the league.
Yeah,
watch out. He runs just fine and well. But I'm not going to compare him to somebody who is a straight up speed guy because that's not him.
Yeah,
no matter what he ran or didn't run if something messed up on the laser. Otherwise, he has the best 10-yard split in this entire draft class by a long shot, and I don't know that that's on tape either. So I buy into the conspiracy theories that something was wonky. Matthew Golden runs a 4.42, give or take. And that's good. That's fast. San Francisco 49ers at 11.
Nolan, defensive tackle.
Brian, you just let Mason Graham make it to 12.
I sure did.
And you're not going to let me take him?
I don't know if they necessarily like him as much as we do.
He's a good player.
This is your mock draft, Jeff.
It's not my mock draft because I've made you make most picks.
No, it's your mock draft, Jeff. Make the pick for the Dallas Cowboys. Make the pick for the Dallas Cowboys. Don't take your thoughts out of it. Just as if you're grading the players, just let it be known that you would take Mason Graham here.
I would comfortably take Mason Graham here.
Yeah.
Would they take wide receiver 2 over Mason Graham?
This could be Ibuka. This is where the Ibuka Golden discussion happens. This is where Mason Graham happens.
Okay,
This is where Booker happens.
I'm going to give you multiple names that I would do that I don't know.
This is where yeah, Banks.
Kelvin Banks and Mason Graham would be my top 2 players.
There you go.
But are they going to force their way to wide receiver? And to your point, it's not forcing because this is another of my favorite Bryanisms. They don't give a damn.
They don't care about it. No,
they could totally disagree about how good Mason Graham or Kelvin Banks are, and they could think Matthew Golden's better, even though I think Mason Graham is 12 guys above him and Banks is 6 guys above him.
There you go.
They don't care.
There you go.
And it sounds like I'm talking down Matthew Golden. I like
use the thought, use the intel that they might not be as high on Mason Graham as you and I. Use that as your base.
Okay. Do you have any idea how they feel?
By the way, super chat for I think that's Dro Knows.
Yeah,
I'm not from Louisiana. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I went to school at LSU. Just born.
He
in Dallas,
adopted.
Texas.
He part of him became Louisiana.
I want my ashes to be sprinkled at Tiger Stadium. Some of them, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what we're not going to do. We're not taking Marion Hampton. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, you're not going to take him. Just think of what they would do under the scenario with no McMillan, and then maybe the thought that they're not as high on Graham as you and I are.
Okay, you're telling me to eliminate Mason Graham. No problem.
Well, I'm saying if you really think if you feel like that they think that he's better than, is he better than Ibuka? Is he better than Golden? Is he better than Banks? Is he better than Booker? Is he better than Mykel Williams? That's you got to put yourself in that kind of
what about Will
Jerry
Johnson?
Jeff Walker in that London homesick blues. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah,
What about Will Johnson?
Put Will Johnson in there too. There you go. Now, Will Johnson's got a condition that we have to worry about a little bit.
What's his condition? Slowitis?
I don't want to HIPAA law this thing.
Okay.
I'll tell you afterwards.
Okay.
But there's something that there's a concern. Some teams are concerned about this. Yeah.
You know what would be really fun? This would be really fun if this happened tonight. Because
you got to go to work, Jeff. So kind of hurry along here.
They have talked a lot about cars. Sir, I have a clock right there. We have 2 minutes left.
I'm just kidding you.
They're talking a lot about culture and right kind of guy. We got some stuff going on again.
There you go.
How about Emeka Ibuka at 12? The most universally loved and respected prospect in the history of the NFL draft.
There's nobody more loved than him. There is. I mean, him, Jalen Walker, probably one of the things they were talking about was when people were asking the Georgia players in the combine interviews, if you could take one teammate from along with you from your school to take along with you to the pros, it seems like every single one of them talked about Jalen Walker. Every one of them talked about Walker. So him, Ibuka is a very driven guy, very driven. I mean, I told you this one time, I watched him. I was just curious about his dad's involved, but not in a bad way, very encouraging dad. But he took up golf just because he wanted to do it. And he looks like he's got a pro golf swing. I mean, I don't think there's anything this kid can't do. He's one of those just show up, So
Well, Brian, I'll tell you, as a guy who watches these players, my official pick in the Cowboys mock draft at 12 is Mason Graham.
Okay. That's fine. If Mason Graham were to get there, I think it would be very difficult for me not to take Mason Graham, but you have to think, are you going to play him at the 1? You're going to play him at the 3.
3. Yeah. And I mean, look, yes, Osa's there, and we're going to be fine. You'll both get 50% of the snaps at 3, and then there's going to be the pass rush snaps where you're both on the field, and we'll figure it out. We'll be all right.
I'm surprised you didn't take Ibuka. I'm really surprised.
I love Ibuka. If Ibuka ends up on the football
I'm surprised you didn't take Banks there too.
Well,
Under the scenario where you lost guys along the way. You lost. Now your pick, if say McMillan was there, would be at 12. You would take McMillan, right?
I would take both Mason Graham and Kelvin Banks over Tet McMillan.
Okay.
I would.
Okay.
That's what. Now you tell me who they're picking at 12 in this scenario.
I think I personally think it's going to come down to. I think it's going to come down to Banks, Booker, and one of these wide receivers.
Oh,
under the Tet McMillan's gone cloud.
Whoa, you don't like Ted being gone, huh, CD?
Yeah.
Okay, so your official pick is Teteroa McMillan, but if he's gone, throw me one name. Pick one. He hates it.
McMillan is gone, or McMillan's gone.
Yeah.
I think they're going to take. I think they're going to take Booker.
Woo! Right guard, baby. All right, Brian, I'll let you go to work now. Sorry.
It's all good.
Dro Nose is in here. He just doesn't want Will Johnson. All right, that's okay.
The guy doesn't want Will Johnson, or I don't want Will Johnson.
That guy didn't want. He doesn't. Dro Nose doesn't.
No. There's Will Johnson is a really good player. I just personally have guys above him: Ravel, Morrison, Barron. That's just me. If I'm being selfish, Jeff said earlier they don't care what I think. I could talk about Will Johnson being very positive. I can, and I will. If they take Will Johnson, I can absolutely.
I'm gonna tear him down. I'm gonna tell him he needs to run a damn 40.
I think today, Jeff, or tonight, folks just need to be prepared that McMillan could be gone. If that's your desired player, I think you need to kind of take today and kind of navigate how you would feel and about that. You might be happy about that. That might be a pin throw for you. That might be, oh, damn, we lost McMillan. And really inside you're going, oh, wow, it lets me take a Buka or Golden or Will Johnson or whoever else. I just think you need to be kind of prepared that work that thought that maybe the receiver that we've talked about for months now might not be there.
All right, everybody stop sending super chats because we have to go. Jeff, you misunderstood my comments. I don't think waiting till day 3 for skill positions is smart, especially since we lost our 4th. Yeah, they need help with the skill positions for show. Good news for the Cowboys is they also need help everywhere else, so they can just pick whoever the best player is.
Yeah, by the way, wait real quick. Mitchell asked about Simmons in the conversation. Me personally, I would take Simmons myself. I would take Simmons, and I think they like Simmons. I think you have to put Simmons in that conversation. Absolutely, yes.
Then he's in. All right, Brian, go to work. Happy draft day. Enjoy it tonight, today, next 3 days. Let's party, everybody. He'll see you on The Fan on Cowboys.com. I'll see you on my YouTube channel and DLS Sports tonight, and we will all have ourselves a time. Remember,